I have a question about being single, in singleism, and I'm just wondering what you think about legal protections, or actually, I would say lack of legal privileges by simply being single. I think I know what you'd say about moral status, but I'm wondering what you'd say about political status.
Political status, yeah, I think that this is really a fair question. I'm actually not, believe it or not, I'm actually not some kind of champion of marriage. I do not think that people should all go out and get married. I don't have this idealized or romanticized notion of it. As I said, my interest here is in equality, and is in the fact that, well, if some are allowed to do it, then others must be allowed to do it. But that certainly doesn't mean that everyone should, or for that matter, should see a diminution of status or benefits for not being married. I actually think that there should be recognition of financially interdependent partnership, for example. Something short of marriage as well. And it was suggested to me that maybe a couple of weeks ago, by accident it seems, the Texas legislature made marriage illegal. Now that would be just and consistent. If you outlawed all marriage, I would be fine with that. What you can't do is allow some groups to marry arbitrarily and not allow others.
Well, so I guess I would just kind of comment that the bigger problem is that Christianity kind of acts like they own marriage, because again and again they fall back on the argument, well, that goes against the, basis for all marriage is a man and a woman, and it's in, so shouldn't it just be changed? Shouldn't we do something to change that attitude, that they think they can own that institution because they pervade it or whatever?
I'm trying to do something along those lines. That is, I'm trying to address people's consciousness there. But we have clearly taken major steps in our civil and secular society. We have civil marriages. One doesn't have to get married in a church or a synagogue or something like that. So it's clear that marriage is not solely the province of religion. So why are people still thinking the way that they are? Well, that I can't answer.
Thank you. I have two things. First, what justifies a modern theory versus an ancient theory?
Well, philosophical argumentation and analysis, and the consensus of the community of inquirers who consider those theories, test them, raise objections to them, circulate them. It takes a long time for a moral theory to become established. What legitimates it is reason. What legitimates it is justification, which is something that has to take place within the terms of morality itself, not by appeal to something outside of morality. The only exception there that I would say in this context is that we do have a limiting condition here as far as politics goes. We have the Constitution, and we are bound by the framework of the Constitution, if what we're talking about is in fact the law and what's allowed legally. Morally, though, what legitimates a moral theory is its acceptance, its testing, criticism, refinement, and ultimate acceptance by the community of inquirers. That's what legitimates any theory, I would say.
Okay, my other thing was, I didn't quite follow your argument about why marriage between species wouldn't be allowed, because species can fulfill that new definition of marriage, of love and sex and devotion. Think of the devotion of a dog, for example. I mean, they've been known to die for their masters.
I'm not denying that animals are capable of love, and clearly animals do pair bond with one another of the same species. I think that the clear line of demarcation here is that of consent. That is, as I suggested, an animal is incapable of framing the requisite thought, the comprehension required to understand marriage in all of its significance that we understand. I'm not just talking about rubbing up against one another and sleeping together at night. I'm talking about the consciousness of one's contractual legal, economic, social, political, cultural, moral connections. I think it's pretty plainly the case that no animal other than the human is capable of that. And so you would have to show that, in fact, this animal was capable of the very same things that a consenting adult was. I don't think you believe that. I certainly don't believe that. I don't think anyone here believes that.